He has no magic, but his blade is the only hope against a deadly assassin. Major spoilers ahead for the second season of Wistoria. Here is the deal. Well, Serfort is a magical washout in a world where mages rule everything. He cannot cast a single spell, yet he is dead set on climbing the tower to reach his childhood friend, Elfaria, who is already a legendary Magia Vander. While other students rely on fancy wands and elemental blasts, Will relies on a sharp sword and sheer grit. But the Academy's latest dungeon training is not just about passing an exam anymore. A mysterious, rogue mage has infiltrated the testing grounds, and they are hunting the brightest students in the class. Now, Will is the only one who can stand between his friends and total annihilation. It is a desperate struggle for survival. Wistoria, Wand and Sword Season 2 keeps the pressure on the main character as every choice reshapes what comes next. The praxis training starts under the watchful eye of the instructors, but the atmosphere turns frigid almost immediately. Will and the elite students, including the formidable Lehana, are deep in the labyrinth, pushing themselves to clear the floors. They think they are just competing for rank and reputation, but the dungeon itself feels wrong. The usual monsters are behaving strangely, and there is a lingering presence of malice hanging in the shadows. Before they can even get their bearings, the floor traps trigger with lethal precision. Someone is manipulating the environment, turning the training ground into a kill box. Lehana senses the shift in pressure first, but by the time she warns the others, the first strike of a high-level spell craters the ground right beneath their feet. The survival exam has officially become a war zone, and Will is the only one who doesn't panic when the world starts falling apart. This is where the anime earns its pacing, tension, payoff, and reveals built on what already happened. Out of the darkness emerges a mage whose presence is suffocating. This is no ordinary student. This is a professional, someone designed to eliminate potential threats before they can become powerful mages. The assassin does not waste time with dialogue. They unleash a barrage of high-tier offensive spells, shredding the dungeon walls and forcing the students onto the defensive. It is a slaughter in the making. While the top students struggle to chant their defenses, Will moves. He knows he cannot match their power, so he matches their speed. He weaves through a storm of magical projectiles, closing the distance while the other mages are still trying to calibrate their shields. This is the moment where Will's lack of magic becomes his biggest strength, because the assassin isn't prepared to fight someone who refuses to follow the rules of magical combat. The fight gets brutal. The assassin realizes Will is the variable they didn't account for and pivots their full attention toward him. They unleash a forbidden technique that warps gravity, pinning everyone else to the floor. Will is the only one left standing, his lungs burning, his muscles screaming under the pressure of the spell. But he just keeps walking forward, step by agonizing step. The assassin's eyes widen. They have never seen someone overcome a suppression spell through pure physical effort. Will finally reaches striking distance, his sword gleaming in the dim light of the dungeon. He doesn't need an incantation to cut through a shield. He just needs the perfect angle and enough force to shatter the magic from the inside out. He swings, the air screams, and for a split second, it feels like he might actually take them down entirely. The aftermath of the clash is devastating. The assassin retreats into the shadows, but the group is battered and bruised. Lehana and the others look at Will differently now. He didn't just save them. He defied a level of magic that should have been insurmountable for anyone without a wand. It is a moment of cold realization for the students. The Academy is not the safe harbor they believed it to be. There are forces within the hierarchy, people who want the status quo to remain unchallenged, and they are willing to kill children to keep it that way. Will is exhausted, but the fire in his eyes is brighter than ever. He knows that if he wants to reach Elfaria, he has to become strong enough to fight not just monsters, but the very system that created this threat. He prepares for the final exit exam with even greater intensity than before. Even after the dust settles, the threat remains. Will begins to notice anomalies within the Academy structure itself, suggesting the assassin was merely a scouting party for something far larger. His teachers seem oblivious, or perhaps they are choosing to look the other way while students are being targeted by forbidden spells. He doesn't trust anyone in the faculty anymore. Every interaction with a professor feels like walking on eggshells. He leans on his bond with his friends, but he realizes that protecting them is going to require more than just a sharp blade. He needs to uncover the truth about why the tower allows such abuse of power to fester within its walls. He is no longer just playing by the rules of the academy, he is actively looking for the cracks in their foundation that he can exploit when the time is right. This episode matters because it elevates Will from a simple underdog to a genuine threat. By surviving the ambush, he has proven that his sword is a viable counter to the world's most powerful magic. It exposes the rot inside the academy and sets the stage for the wider conflict between the tower's elite and those lurking in the shadows. We are no longer watching a school life anime. We are watching a survival thriller where Will's identity is the biggest secret of all. The walls are closing in, and Elfaria's tower feels further away than ever. But the resolve in Will's heart is absolute. He isn't just fighting for his grades anymore. He's fighting for his future and the safety of everyone he holds dear. The storm is coming, and Will is the only one who sees the clouds gathering over the horizon. The ambush was only the beginning of the end for the Academy's peace. Subscribe now to see if Will can survive the final exit exams without losing himself or his sword. You won't want to miss what happens when the tower itself starts to turn against him in the next part of this epic saga. Make sure your notifications are on so you don't miss the breakdown of the final survival stages. See you in the next recap.